Hey everybody, welcome back to the Desk of Interesting Things here on Gambit Digital. It's been a long time since we had something come through the office, but this one we think is pretty interesting for a number of reasons. So it is the holiday season. Black Friday is just a few days away from the time I'm recording this video, and one of the big things that everyone is going to want is a new cell phone or a new smartphone. That is pretty common across the board. So you have some deals out there that you can save on these $1,000 flagship phones. Maybe you get $100, $200 off. Maybe you get it down to $500 on something, whatever that case may be. But, what if you're looking for a new smartphone and don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars? You can't afford a $1,000 flagship phone. I know I can't, for example. But you turn to the budget models of phones, or what they call budget here in the United States, and you look at things starting around $400, if that focuses back on my hands. You look at about $400 for a budget phone. Now, I don't know about the rest of you. I don't live in a giant city, so $400 to me is not a budget when I'm thinking about something. That's just not what I consider budget. What do I consider budget? Well, you're looking at something anywhere under the $200 range for a phone. If your phone costs more than a video game console, it's probably not what I consider budget friendly. So I wanted to get a couple phones for my grandparents and my parents to make it nice and simple for them, since they need upgrades, but I don't want to spend a whole lot, and I didn't want to bugger them with a sort of plan or any monthly kind of fees. I wanted to buy a phone outright. So I went on to Amazon and I searched for the lowest cost smartphone with decent specs. And what I found was from UMIDIGI. Now, if you don't know who UMIDIGI is, that's okay. They are new to the smartphone scene overseas. They are a Chinese company making smartphones. Now, they make Android-based devices, and they look pretty sleek on the screen when I was looking through them. And they had everything I needed for a phone for my parents, especially. You're not looking at something that's going to get the high frame rates on something like PUBG or Fortnite, but you're getting something that works. It can make calls, it can play most everything you need to, play media, everything, and looks nice. Now, guess how much this thing came off contract, just the phone itself. All right, you can guess hundreds and hundreds of dollars, but let's look at the specs first so we can see kind of what we're getting in terms of things, and you can come back to me on that. So this is the UMIDIGI A3. What we have a CPU, and this is not fun focusing. There we go. This is a CPU is running an MT6739 quad core 4 Cortex A53 1.5 gigahertz processor. Not incredibly fast, but it'll get the job done. Right out the box, it comes with Android 8.1 Oreo. I think they just rolled out Pie a little while ago, so it's not the newest, but it's also more capable than my Honor 6X, which I believe is running 7, if I'm right. It's not at 8.1 yet. Built-in memory, it's got 2 gigabytes of RAM, 16 gigabytes of internal storage. That is not a lot in terms of RAM, but it's about as low as basic as you want to go. It'll run your whatever you do, your Flappy Birds, your whatever match 3 puzzle games, your basic stuff. It's going to be fine, but don't expect to be doing any serious work on this device. Remember, it is a phone. It's got dual nano SIM. Okay, the battery is a 3300 milliamp battery. The screen itself is 5.5 inch HD 18 by 9 720p display. Not fantastic. It's not going to blow anyone away, but again, we're not looking for a high-end flagship phone. We're looking for a replacement for your parents, grandparents, or maybe this is fantastic for a child, and I'll come to that later because of the price. So the camera itself, it's a 12 megapixel camera, 5 megapixel camera. It's got the 2 cameras on it, like a lot of the phones from the past few generations had, as opposed to the single camera. I know they're starting to slightly move away from that, but that works. It's the same thing basically on my Honor 6X. It's got the 2 cameras on there. For really artistic shots mostly. It doesn't do much unless you want to get some bokeh shots and kind of stuff like that. The front is an 8 megapixel selfie camera. Networks has just about everything you can all over the world. So this contains the phone, power adapter, USB cable, manual, and some stuff. Now, what would you expect that phone to cost you if you went into the store today? A couple $100, $200 maybe, roughly around there, let's say. Maybe on contract at, if you look at T-Mobile's offerings, their lowest end phones, you're looking at, maybe $10 a month, and the phone will run you $200. What if I were to tell you that UMIDIGI and the A3 off contract right now, flat, without a sale, you can pick this bad boy up for $79.99. That's absolutely insane for a smartphone of this nature. It's $79 for everything that I just listed, no contract, no anything. So how do they do that? It's pretty wild. They don't actually make money off these phones, at least not right now, especially on the international market. So how a lot of these Chinese companies, smartphone companies, even something as big as Xiaomi, which has some really nice phones, is that they don't make any money on the parts. Their job right now is to get you to know the name. They want you to know who they are so that they can sell you stuff down the road. Maybe their next phone, once you've had time with this, you'll get one of their higher end flagships. Maybe as their tech companies, they release all sorts of products, so you'll get more and more stuff that they hopefully will sell you. How do they keep the prices cheap? They have no marketing budget. I've never heard of this phone before. I was simply looking on Amazon at the lowest end, looking online here on YouTube. I couldn't find any unboxings, any features on the UMIDIGI A3, except some really kind of generic, not GarageBand, but iTunes or iMovie kind of shows saying, hey, look, this is our new phone. Really basic. So they don't have a marketing budget pretty much to speak of. Maybe they do in China, but they don't anywhere else. And lastly, they really don't keep stocks of these phones. I've done some research on how these companies work, and they don't keep a stock of phones in a giant warehouse because that costs a lot of money. So a lot of the times their stock is very limited, and they like to do flash sales or say, hey, we have 1,000 mobile handsets and that's going to be it for this run, and if it's really popular we'll make more, or they will have a build to order sort of system. And I don't think UMIDIGI has this because this was on Prime for 2-day shipping, so Amazon clearly has a stock of these. I don't know if they have them, UMIDIGI has them a stock at home, but sometimes when you order a phone of this nature, it'll get processed and they'll build it on the spot and send it out to you. And as for parts, everything is pretty much the same. They're getting their stock from the same places as Samsung and the rest of them. The only difference is they're getting them for a lot cheaper. Again, with my research looking into this stuff here online. So what happens is a RAM manufacturer will make a lot of RAM, and Samsung and Apple will come in and say, Apple says, I want the top RAM that you have, the very best. And then they'll buy those at a price. And then Samsung will come in and say, I want the very best you have. That's the next step down. They'll have them. And then down and down and down and down. Now, how do you get really good or bad RAM? Well, it's up to the not the manufacturer, but the people buying it and what they accept as a defect rate. So say Apple has a 1% defect rate in RAM. They will buy the highest RAM that has been tested with the least defects in that run. And then Samsung will buy it and say they have a 3% defect rate. And then you have down to UMIDIGI and these other manufacturers with funny names that I can't say because I looked at a couple of phones and they say, oh, well, we have, a 5% or a 10% rate. So you're going to get a lot of, there's more risk involved in these phones. And they're getting their RAM and their parts a lot cheaper that way. But because the cost is so low, $80, and say this phone lasts me for, I don't know, my parents are really light on their phone use. If this lasts them a year, then that's $80 well spent, in my opinion, even if it goes bad in, say, 6 to 8 months. It's not, skin off my back. You can buy 5 of these phones for the price of one mid-range flagship from like a year or two ago. So let's jump right to it. Let's open this bad boy up and see how this thing looks. I don't remember what I ordered color-wise. There we go, color-wise. I don't know if you can kind of see that, focus in on that. There's some details there. It is gold, the model A3. So let's open her up. So we start with a thank you letter. Let's see if I can read this through the viewfinder, which is probably going to be incredibly difficult. There we go. Thanks. Building a great phone is hard enough, so building a great phone on a budget should be infinitely more difficult. Big thanks to all who made this super phone super awesome by contributing valuable time, developing hardware, software, and on and on and on. So that's a nice thank you. What's interesting and cool about this is that this looks actually proper English and done very well, and not kind of run through Google Translate and then done in. And then, oh, it looks giveaway and enter. Scan or following QRs following to win an UMIDIGI smart device for free. I guess you can totally do that if you want to win a phone. I don't know how well that works. So they have a YouTube. So see, all their social media is kind of almost guerrilla in their style of marketing. They don't have anything huge. And that, VK, I believe that is the Russian sort of Facebook and all that stuff. So if you kind of want to find them, there's more information on that. So this is the phone itself. So let's pull this guy out and we'll see. We'll put it off to the side and let's see what we get first inside here. So we get the link to the world, and this looks like it's got all the instruction features. Yeah, that's your instruction book. Right there, that's your SIM card puller. You can have a couple SIM cards in there, which is nice. So we'll put that off to the side. You get a USB, micro USB cable. Of course, we're all on C and all that stuff now, but again, it's a way to keep costs down, and chances are you're fine. You're still using this in half of your devices anyway, so not too big a deal there. And of course, little power inverter there with their logo branded on it. So they are taking some time to brand these stuff and not just have generic things, which is cool. A lot of stuff, you're not going to get this stuff anymore. So that's it for the packaging. It's a very nice, very clean. I like the style. But let's look at the phone itself. So here is the handset. It is supposed to be gold, but it is black. And that, see, it's gold down there. So what's interesting is this comes with a case already on it. I'm actually really loving this. This is a faux leather case on there. I don't know, of course, the protection from drops and stuff is probably not great, but I love that it's already there put together. So if we look on the front, notes and emergency low battery, all that stuff, and you have a screen protector that's already attached. That's one of the really nice things I found about my Honor 6X when I purchased it, is that it came with the screen protector on there, and it's actually right over here. Let me pull it out. So here is the Honor 6X right next to it, so you can kind of compare in size to see what you're getting size-wise. But it came with, not this case, but it came with a screen protector already on it, and that was there when I bought it last year. And it's still there. It still hasn't cracked, hasn't come off. It's fantastic. So having that is pretty cool. Now, the phone itself is actually a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner than an Honor 6X. It's the only thing I have for comparison, but it still feels nice in the hand. What's great is that I don't have really big hands, and neither do my parents, so reaching for anything can be a problem. This feels really nice in the hands. Now I want to take this case off so we can actually see the phone itself back here. I don't know how, there we go, how easy that's going to be right off there. So yeah, so this is just a basic gel case. Not terrible, but you're probably going to want to upgrade, but it's nice to have this. If you're really going to use this phone. My parents and grandparents won't be using this heavily, so this is probably going to be perfect for them. And again, 80 bucks. You buy one of these on Amazon, even the cheap ones, it's what, $6 at least, you know, $6 to $10. So you're saving money right there, which is nice. This is the handset itself. There's the logo, the numbers, all of that stuff. I'll probably want to black that out later because that's the IMEI numbers and stuff. So there's the display. I know it's kind of a little bit hard to see, but there's a plastic sheet on there. So we got dual cameras right there. We got volume. We got a flashlight built in right there. It's also for flash. Volume knobs, rocker knobs here for volume up and down. Power button there. Fingerprint sensor over there, and your SIM card slot here. And that is your lot for the phone. So yeah, it's got a little thing on there. Peel that off. And there is the phone. So there is a screen protector over there in the, let me see, what does it say? Yeah, there's a screen protector over there in the package, so you can stick that on. But that is the phone. That is really clean, really sleek, looks nice in the hand, kind of has almost a iPhone kind of look to it a little bit, last year's model. I don't know if there's any juice in this, but let's see if we can, oh, yeah, it boots up. powered by Android, so it's got a little bit of juice in there. So let's take a look at what UMIDIGI sticks on this device straight out. I can get it away from the light. So it is booting up, got the UMIDIGI thing logo and some sort of abstract piece of art in the back. Now again, you are dealing with, what did I say was on here? 2 gigs of RAM. It's not going to be great. But see, this is what we can see for the screen quality wise. Agree? Not now. Let's just take a look at this screen right here, if it can focus in on that. There it goes. So it's not terrible. It's not end to end. You don't have notches, which I'm not a fan of. I'd rather have a clean screen in this regard. Connect to a mobile network. We'll skip. Not now. We just want the phone to start. It's got the traditional kind of basic layout for any Google device. Skip. Just 1 sec. Date and time. We'll keep all this the same. We won't test that yet. Not now. Skip anyways. So we just kind of want to see the layout of this. Oh God, Google services, everything. So many things when you're booting up a new phone. All right, here we go. This is what I really wanted to see. So there we go. If you're used to Google, this is nice. Everything is a little bit smaller because of this handset, which is fine. Smooth, easy, nice to play with. Go over here, you got your news, your Google stuff, which is fine. Probably most people, this is actually really fine. I don't mind this at all. But most people are probably going to want some sort of launcher on there. If we look at mine, I'm running a launcher itself over here, but it's not that big a difference. So when you compare the Honor 6X here on the left to the UMIDIGI A3 on the right, you're getting less screen real estate. It's 5.5. I believe this one is 5.8 maybe. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's not that big a deal. These Honor 6X, they're a lot bigger now, and the Honor 10 and all that stuff. It's a little more difficult for me, if you can see, to reach that Facebook button just because of my hands. So some of the more stuff that I use is over here on the right. But with this one, if you have smaller hands, it's nice. It's light, it's really easy, and it's stylish. It's clean. Look at that. So let's go see if we can look at settings. System settings. System, okay, so we got 8.1.0. It's been updated. About phone. So here are some of the details. I don't know how good it is to see on the screen. I'm going to try to get this focus in just a little bit better. So we got the UMIDIGI A3, 2 gigs of RAM, 16 gigabyte ROM, Android 8.1.0. Last patch was on September 15th, probably when it was out. Probably needs a little update, build number, all that stuff. So this is it. This is incredibly nice. This is incredibly smooth. Right off the bat, you are ready to go with the phone. Now remember, this is $79.99 straight, complete with everything you saw here. You are going to have a hard time beating this sort of handheld or handset for that price. If you can find a phone brand new for $100 that's as good as this, please let me know. I'll be interested in finding that out. So we're going to leave you here because my dog is barking in the back and I think he's hungry. Check out gambitmag.com. We're going to have a full review of this handset. We're going to put it through its testing phases. We're going to run some processes and all that good stuff. And we're going to put some games on here to see just what is what with regards to the UMIDIGI A3. But right off the bat, style-wise, look-wise, yeah, it looks absolutely fantastic in my eyes. So until next time, be sure to stick around. If you want to follow that, you can follow us on gambitmag.com or follow us on Facebook, as a review will be coming out on there as well, and hopefully here in video form. So until next time, have yourselves a fantastic day, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.